Room Zero by Riley Hart, Nurse Technician, Missoula, Montana. My name is Riley Hart. I worked night shifts at Summit Valley Medical Center, a small but old hospital in Missoula, Montana. I'd only been on the job about 5 months when this happened in March of 2023. This story still haunts me, and to this day, no one at the hospital will talk about it. But I have to say something, because the scariest part? I don't know if it ever really ended. It was around 2:15 a.m. on a Friday. Quiet night. Too quiet. I was stationed on the 4th floor, monitoring vitals and updating patient charts. But around that time, the elevators began moving on their own. Not once, not twice, but every few minutes, the doors would open to an empty floor, pause, then close again. I chalked it up to some glitch in the system. That's common in older hospitals. But then something changed. At 2:38 a.m., the elevator opened on our floor, but instead of lighting up for the small screen above the doors flashed something I've never seen before. There's no basement listed on the elevator panel. No sublevel for us to access. It shouldn't have been possible. I stared at it, frozen. One of the older nurses, Mara, saw it too. Her face went pale. She looked at me and muttered, "Don't get in that elevator, Riley." Then she walked away fast. At around 3:10 a.m., my curiosity got the better of me. I walked over to the elevator. The panel was back to normal. When the doors opened, the hallway was pitch black. The only light came from a dying fluorescent bulb in the distance, blinking faintly. I stepped out, phone flashlight on. The walls were old, cracked tile, not like the rest of the hospital. There were no exit signs, no equipment, nothing modern at all. I followed the corridor and reached a large door labeled Room Zero, Authorized Personnel Only. It looked wrong. The paint was decayed. The air felt thick, and I could hear what sounded like breathing behind the door. Not heavy, not human, just rhythmic. I pushed the door open slowly. Inside were rows of metal hospital beds, stacked on top of each other like industrial bunk beds. At least 30 beds, maybe more, and every single one of them had something or someone in it. I moved closer. My light shook as I realized the people in the beds, they looked like me. My face, my scrubs, my name tag, but dead. Each body in a different state of death. One looked freshly suffocated. Another had its throat slashed. One was blue from electrocution. One had its face crushed beyond recognition. But they all were me. I wanted to run, but I couldn't move. That's when I heard the bed below me creak. I looked down and saw my own eyes staring back at me from the bottom bunk. Still alive, mouth moving. I leaned down. It whispered,
"They keep putting us back."
Then everything went black. I woke up in the break room at 7:45 a.m. I tried to report it, but my supervisor said there was no room zero and that no elevator could access a -1 floor. Maintenance said the elevator logs showed nothing abnormal. HR made me take 2 weeks of leave and hinted I'd lose my job if I kept pushing the issue. I did some digging on my own after that. Old newspaper archives, obscure medical records. I found a whisper of something, a psychiatric trauma unit that shut down in the early 90s. Patients allegedly disappeared. Lawsuits vanished. One article described a floor below the morgue at Summit Valley, but all official blueprints now end at the basement. The old wing, condemned, sealed, forgotten. I haven't set foot in that hospital since. Every few months, I receive an anonymous email. Always the same subject line. You were supposed to stay. No text, just an attachment. A photo of me, asleep in a hospital bed. Same room, same setup. Only now there are more of me in the bunks behind. And the latest one, it was a video. In it, I sit up in the bed, smile into the camera, and whisper, "They're making room for the next one." I never filmed it. I don't know where or when it was taken, but I do know I was wearing tomorrow's scrubs,